AUS the teachers they really teach. So let me spit out these facts lyrically. I'm here to let you know we're getting that paper literally. We might even change the world politically because we're taught to think creative and critically.
The word stop, that's where I'm standing in front of a stop sign. My job is to stop young African-American children from dropping out of high school. Every 26 seconds, a student drops out of high school. That number goes up for African-American kids. How do we eliminate poverty in the urban community? Well, we got to get kids educated.
There's a dropout epidemic in our country with 1 million students dropping out every year. Nearly a third of all public high school students, nearly half of all minority students failing to graduate with their class. It's simply unacceptable. It's not the 21st century. It's not our future, and it should not be our present.
When I was going to South High School, I was fighting an aggravated robbery case, and I was in a group home. So like the group home, the court systems had put me in a group home where the group home was taking us to school every day. So like, you know, I was borderline ready to run from the group home, ready to forget about school and go on the run. So like, at that time, point in my life, I was at a delicate space.
If you look in urban districts in particular, it's not unusual that in traditional public schools, you would have a 20-25% dropout rate. So if you think about that, if you have a student population of 5,000 students, and in your typical urban district, 1,000 of those potential graduates each year won't graduate. And this becomes a very significant problem in our urban centers.
It's my firm belief that the education of our young people is not the sole responsibility of any one entity. Oftentimes we hear about schools failing young people, then we hear the schools blame the parents for failing young people, then we hear other people blame the community for failing young people. But at the end of the day, if our young people don't thrive, it is the sole responsibility of our entire community. And that failure rests with us and not with them.
When I was living with home, I felt like I could do whatever I wanted because nobody was teaching me anything. They didn't care. Why should I care?
As I grew up with them down there, it was just, I just kind of became a part of, you know, the hood life, as you want to call it. And it's just, after that, it was just, I kind of went downhill because then I got into, you know, what they do on the street.
I had a mother that wasn't a good mother, and I knew if I got caught up in something that he would have had to go to her, and I didn't like that at all. So it made me want to open my eyes and do good.
What would you say, what made your mom not a good mom?
I don't know, she met a friend, and then ever since she met that friend, she just stopped providing for me and my brother. She kicked us out when we was young, and I went back to her or whatever. Then I ended up moving back out once I had my son, because I don't know. Nah, but she just had them friends, and then her friends, she just let them hit on us and stuff. And that wasn't cool for me in front of my son.
At that moment, in the back of the ambulance when I got shot, during that whole process of going through therapy twice a week and having a cast on my arm for 7 weeks and all this and that, during that whole process time, because I wasn't in the streets no more, I was at home healing and going to therapy, that's when it really clicked to me that I have to really make a change and be somebody out here. So, you know, that was the major wake-up call. I was just slap in the face right there.
I was homeless. I went in and out of homeless shelters. I actually had a drug addiction. Went through being in the hospital to I had to go through that. People go through hard stuff to realize that they have to change, and that's okay. But then again, it's not. You should never want your kid to go through that. And after being in the hospital over an overdose, it made me realize that I cannot be where I was. I just can't. I will lose my life.
I think there are many different reasons a student is in a dropout recovery program. We have to eliminate those barriers, those things that derailed them from their path to graduate from high school. If we can soften those, eliminate those, we can re-engage them. And that's what some of the most successful programs are doing, and they're showing that through data that their kids are performing.
One of the ills of the urban community is this whole lack of education. And we've got to really sell to ourselves that we got to make sure that every community, urban community, every urban person begins to value education.
My uncle did 9 years in the federal prison, so that's like one of my biggest influence on my life about, and he really preached that school stuff to me hard, like, what I'm saying, about getting a GED and getting a high school diploma or getting some type of certificate from school, because you really can't do nothing out here on the streets you can't do nothing in society without a high school diploma or a GED. So my uncle was beating that in my head, so I'm like, he was beating it in my head when I didn't even want to do it, so I was like, yo, that's what I'm trying to do, it's baby steps. I'm thinking I had to take baby steps first to get where I need to be. When I was in jail, I thought hard and long about what I wanted to do when I got out. So I wanted to make a change. I wanted to be different. Everybody was going right, I'm trying to go left. So that time in jail really showed me what kind of friends and what kind of family members really gonna support me.
There's a need in our community in Ohio for the dropout recovery schools. There's a population that was not afforded the educational opportunities or didn't take advantage of the educational opportunities, and now we have a generation of students that this education system didn't work for, and so they need a school that will give them an alternate way to re-engage them.
When I first came to AUS and I toured the school, I saw teachers that cared. I saw teachers that were enthusiastic, and I also saw students that actually wanted to be here. So we're talking about students that are age 18 to 22 that really don't have to be in school. They dropped out, but they chose to come back. And so because they chose to come back, that pretty much told me that they really want to graduate.
I'm here because I firmly believe in the Chinese proverb that says, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day, but if you teach them how to fish, they eat for a lifetime. And I really believe that what we're doing here is we're planting the seed into the students that will change a generation.
I think one of the big issues that is happening is we don't acknowledge the knowledge gaps that are going on. So when a student comes to a dropout recovery school that's been out of school for 2 or 3 years, there's huge knowledge gaps. They're not ready to just go into the classroom and start learning standards.
Man, baby steps, man. I had to crawl before I walk. I couldn't just, I had to learn again. Sometimes you still know a thing or two from school, but I had to learn all over again. So, it was kind of rough.
I went to public schools for years, and I felt like I wasn't getting the proper attention that I needed. The teachers weren't being one-on-one with me. They weren't interacting with me. They wouldn't help me with anything. And then when I came to AUS, it was totally different. They interacted, they helped me, they'll do one-on-one with me, and I really like the program.
We know they want to be here. The statistics show that every 26 seconds, a high school student is dropping out, and that's across America. So every time we can get a dropout to attend AUS and get them the needed credit and OGT requirements and see them actually graduate, we know that we are reversing the negative culture that has been planted here in America.
We focus on differentiated instruction because our students come to us on such a wide level of learning abilities. We start from 3rd grade and go all the way up to senior year. So the teachers and myself and the other intervention specialists, we really focus on meeting the needs of all learners so they're successful.
To me, the Academy for Urban Scholars is a school that I would recommend for any parent, especially if your children was going to public schools and they went through and they dropped out, such as my children. They just didn't want to go to school. I had truancy officers calling me. So when they came here, they're excited. They get up every day. They want to come to school. They love the staff, the students. So it's just really exciting here for me.
And what's important is that not that we wait for the students to come to us, but we go to the community and find the students. Remember, they dropped out of high school. There was a reason why they dropped out of high school. And it's our jobs as individuals, educators, to say that we want to do education, then we go find out the reasons.
I was walking down the street one day, man, and this guy named Mr. Johnny Turner used to work here. And, you know, I owe it to Mr. Turner, man, because if it wasn't for him, man, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be about to graduate here in December. So Mr. Johnny Turner had stopped me on the streets, and I actually thought he was a cop. I actually thought this guy was a cop. So I think I had a gun on me too when he stopped me, but he ain't know none of that. So long story short, I'm thinking he was a cop. So I'm like, yo, this guy, who is this guy? So he telling me about, do I got a high school diploma? And I actually came off rough to him though. He like, yo, you got a high school diploma? I'm like, yo, nah, man. Like, who are you? You know, and we got to talking, we got to rapping, you know, he took me up at 899 if I'm not mistaken, 899. And, you know, I got to meet Mr. Gregory and, you know, see the school and, you know, the way they explained it to me, get your high school diploma, they do it from 22. So I was like, cool, like, I'm 21. Like, my whole plan was to get my high school diploma before I even turned 22.
We go to their house and say, look, why aren't you in school? Is there a problem? Is something we can help you with? Sometimes we realize they don't have food, transportation issues. Sometimes it can even be closed. So with that, we want to be the supportive services, let them know that, hey, we got your back on whatever, you know, that you need. So one of the things we like to do is actually make sure that if kids can't come to school, that we can give them another means of, another options of graduating. So we do a homework delivery pack, and Nigel's on that right now. So today I'm just checking on him to see, did you do your work?
Yeah, I did.
All right, so you ready for your new packet?
Yeah.
The great support that I get is the retention specialists. They call my students, they come out to our homes, they bring them homework packets, and they do this thing called one-time calling where they call every single day to make sure that my students get up. Sometimes my kids say, it's annoying, but to me, I love it. I just love it because they get up like, let's go to school. So it's just not coming from me, it's coming from the school.
So we're more than just a school. We're their backbone, we're their family, we're their aunts and uncles and friends. I have conferences with students and I see so many issues such as teen pregnancy, having kids, having no family support, and they really look to us as mentors. One student has me as a guardian in case she has to go to jail. She has a couple warrants out. So it just shows the relationship that we have with these students. And without family life and without support at home, how can you be successful at school?
One of the benefits that we've seen is the individuals that we have helped to gain employment, there's a higher retention rate for them to attend in school. Because what the kids say is, I can't come to school because I don't have no money to take care of my family. So what we try to do is we try to get them employment so we can eliminate that barrier. And I can say that it has helped increase the retention rate for the school.
They actually had a job fair here like last week, and you know, she know I needed a job, and she's like a mom to me, so she know I needed a job, and you know, she hooked me up with the job, and you know, I passed the drug test yesterday, and I'll be starting work tonight at 12 o'clock, so I'm thankful for that.
What we try to do is we try to develop a relationship with employers where we'll say, hey, we guarantee you that these kids are going to come to work because we're going to assist them and we're going to provide them extra assistance that they may not get if they wasn't coming through our program.
And we also employ some of the youth that has gone to AUS through our janitorial maintenance service. So what we find and believe is engaging the youth, talking with them, showing them another way in critical thinking. And there's another way to think. There's another way, there's other choices that you can make. And that's the main thing that we find.
This is one of our graduates from the Academy for Urban Scholars. Did you have a good experience there?
Yes, I did.
And what made it different for you?
It helped me better myself, get me together for the military and the guidance that the teachers gave me.
Okay, so this is an example of us coming to the community, and she's on her way to the military. Graduated from the Academy for Urban Scholars and the teachers, and one of the things she emphasizes, the teachers helped her because they cared.
Because the kids here, as far as myself, like we got a lot of outside problems, like with school, like that's the big problem in Columbus Public. Like the teachers, We don't know them, they don't know us. We just come to school, do our work, sit in the high school for 9 periods out of the day, and you barely know nobody. Here, we know each other. Whatever you're going through at home, they try to help you and make it flexible, make it more better for you, so you can just focus on getting your high school diploma, because that's one of the main reasons a lot of kids drop out, because they got so much stuff going on at home that they can't get to school and focus on school. And that's different here. Like, they care about what's going on at home. They care about your life. They care about your well-being. So that plays a big role here.
Since I've been here, I really like it. The teachers are really nice, and they really try to help you so you can try to graduate as quick as possible. They don't really they're not really like ordinary teachers to me, because other teachers just really, quite frankly, don't care, I feel, in public schools. But these teachers here, they give you enough one-on-one time and try to help you.
It's better learning. You can either do computer work or classwork, but I prefer class because I'm not very good on computer.
I really, really like science. And Mr. Waterstreet, he takes a lot of time out with me. He's really patient versus other teachers that's not patient with me. I love a patient teacher.
AUS, they help you. They don't just help you in school, they help you out of school too. Like if you're having family problems, they'll try to come to your house and then talk to your parents and stuff like that. Or if you're in trouble, like they'll go to court with you. They'll do everything they can to try to get you on the right track.
I've been very lucky to keep up with quite a few of the graduates, and many of them are still enrolled at school, Columbus State actually. They have their own car, they're working and going to school. They come up here and show me their grades. One girl called me actually and asked me for homework help. So they really do connect and stay with us, which is great, and which, is our program, and it really works.
Kids worked hard. They deserve this celebration today. They deserve it. And so that's what we're here for.
God, we ask that you give us the authority and the power to breathe life into the dream of every individual here.
So celebrate today, for tomorrow begins and brings your new beginning.
You did it. You overcame every obstacle that was in your way and achieved the goal of earning your high school diploma.
What